Okay, so I've had some questions about how I created my homepage on Canvas here. And so I'm going to try and show you quickly how I made this. The first thing I did was I went to Google to search color palettes and decide what colors I wanted to use. So I just typed color palette in the search thing and I go over here to images and then I searched for a color palette that I really liked. When you find that image that you like, you just want to make a copy of that image. And then I went into PowerPoint. So in PowerPoint, all I did was I just pasted that image in here. And this was the color palette that I chose. So at the very top of my homepage, I made these little icons here. And this is just in my sandbox, and I may choose to make some changes. In fact, I'm already starting to think about things I'm going to change. But just to start out, I made an icon that was a home, something that looked like announcements, something that linked to assignments, grades, files or documents. This link will take them to their online textbook, and this one would take them to Microsoft Office 365. Then I just have my little sort of intro world history with my name, and then this is a button that takes them to a page that tells them about me. This one takes them to a page that tells them about what we're going to learn and study this year. This link takes them to a weekly view of a weekly spread that shows them Monday through Friday what we're doing that week. And this one takes them to a module that has all those weeks in there. So if somebody is absent, then they can go to previous weeks and they can check out any weeks that they want to that we've already covered. So let's start with these icons. In PowerPoint, they have this great thing. You just go to Insert, Icons. So I just did a search here for icons that I thought would work for the top of my homepage. So for example, I typed announcements. And I chose, I think, this one. And this is how I got most of my icons. Okay, so I got an icon, one for home, one for announcements, one that will be for a list of their assignments. I just chose this for, I guess, grades because I couldn't think of anything else for that. This would be for documents, their textbooks, and then I needed something for Microsoft Office. And since I couldn't find anything in the icons that I thought would work, I just made my own. So I made a little circle and I just put the letters MS, and now I'm kind of placing them on top. When I'm moving this on top, if I'm getting like too much jumpiness, I can hold down Alt and it will kind of just let me it won't be as jumpy. So next I'm going to click and drag and select these. I'm going to go to Shape Format, Merge Shapes, and I'm going to choose Combine. And so then I just made my little icon that way. To resize this, I'm going to hold down Shift to make sure that it stays nice and even. Okay, so these are how I made my icons, but I wanted my icons to be not quite so loud on my page. I wanted them to be at the top of, my thought is I will put this on every single page that I make. I might change my mind, but that's my thought right now. So I changed the color and the fill of these. So to do that, I just selected them, went over to Graphics, Fill, and I chose No Fill. Then went to the outline, and this time I'm going to use one of my colors. So I'm going to go down here to where it says Eyedropper, and I'm going to choose that gray color. And that's how I got them to be outlined. And then this one is a little bit different because it's not a true icon. So this time I just do it with Shape Format, Shape Fill. I go to No Fill, Shape Outline, and I can use the eyedropper again. Same idea. And so there are my icons for the top of my homepage. Okay, so the next thing I have to do to set these up so they look the same size and the correct size on my page is kind of weird, but stay with me. you need to go to Insert, Shapes. I chose a rectangle, and I am going to look for whichever one I think is like the widest and tallest one here. I might make my MS smaller, so I think the widest one might be this document one, and I'm going to draw like a rectangle over it. And I'm going to go ahead and make the shape fill empty, so there's nothing over it, and I'm going to line it up with that. Then I'm going to drag it over each of these and make sure that each of these icons fits inside of it. So my MS is not going to fit in there, so I need to select this, hold down Shift, and make it smaller. And I'm going to go back and grab my rectangle, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so why did we have this rectangle? So what you need to do to get these to look right on your page is we are going to put a rectangle around each one of these. And so the first thing I'm going to do here with my home icon is I'm going to select that rectangle and the home icon. I'm going to go to Shape Format. I'm going to go to Align. I'm going to Center Align, and then I'm going to Middle Align. And so now that falls in the center of that. And then I need to do that again with all of these. So I'm going to select that rectangle. I'm going to hold down Control. And when I hover over that rectangle, I get that plus sign there. And then I'm going to click and drag it over to the next icon. Once again, I am going to select both of those. I'm going to go to Format, Align, Center Align, and Middle Align. So I'm going to do that for all of these now. Okay, the next step is we don't want that outline around each of those boxes. So I'm going to select all of them. I just hold down Shift and click on all of them, and I'm going to go to Shape Format, Shape Outline, and I'm going to say No Outline. That may seem weird, but that's important. So now what I need to do is I need to select the first set here, which is the home icon and that rectangle. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Save as Picture. And I'm going to choose a place to save that. So now I'm going to do this, repeat that again for each of these. So I select both of them, I right click, hit Save as Picture, and then save it. I should note that I am saving these as a PNG format. I think that is the default, but if it's not, it's really important that you're saving this as a PNG. Okay, so back in Canvas, I'm going to go to my Pages section here. I'm going to go to View All Pages, and I'm going to start with a fresh page. So I have 7 icons that I want to go at the top here. I want them to be right justified. So I'm going to start actually with 7. So I did a 7x1 table. And so a couple things we have to do in here first is we need to come in here and select this table across. And over here on the table thing, go to Table Properties. And for the border, I make this 0. Alignment, I always make it center. I go to Advanced. Border Style, I choose Hidden. And I make sure that the border color has nothing selected, which is this little red line. And then I hit Save. Okay, so I still want to, I just did the table properties. I also need to go back up here and go to Cell Properties. And over in here where it says H align, I want to make that center, and V align, I want that to be middle. And that's all I want to do. Okay, so Now I could put each of my icons evenly spaced across the top of my page, but I wanted to make them kind of right justified. So what I did was I clicked in here on the far right cell and I clicked this insert column after. So that just split that into 2 cells here. So I have 1, 2, I'm going to do that again. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I know I need 7. And now I can put those little icons like this in here, and then they will be right justified. Now I have to put in those icons. So I click where I want the first one to go. I'm going to go to image here, upload image, and then go find the images that I saved. When this comes in, sometimes it comes in quite big, so all I have to do is click on the image, go to image options, and I think I will make this 75 right here, and the custom size, I'll make it 75 and hit done. And that looks okay to me. I might go back and make them bigger, but we'll see. Then I go to the next cell and I'm going to put in another image. Again, I want to keep this consistent, so I'm going to click on the image, go to image options, and I'm going to make this 75. So I'm going to do this across for all the icons I made. Because we put that invisible rectangle behind it when we saved the PNG, that is what keeps the proportions of our icons so that they look like they're the same size and you don't get like one's really big and one's really small. This keeps it consistent. What's great about Canvas is they already have the aspect ratio locked. So all I have to do is change the width of it and it's going to automatically change this number for me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually save this as I'm calling this my every page example because I plan to have this on every page. I know that this is going to be linked to my announcements, so all I'm going to do is click on that image, go over here to the little link thing. I'm going to go to course links. Over here, I want to go down to course navigation and choose announcements. And now that's linked. Next, this will always be their assignments. So again, I go to links, course navigation, assignments. For me, this is grades. Files. This is files. Their textbook will be an external link, so I would just go to external links. And I guess I would just put like McGraw-Hill here. And this one would be an external link to their Microsoft Office login. Same idea. I would click the image, go to this time external links, and then I would type in or copy and paste the web address in there. So now I'm going to save these. I haven't made my homepage yet, so I can't link it. So I'm going to hit save. And so now if I go to view all pages, I have my every page example in there. And I want that to be on every page. So I need to put that on my home page. So I'm going to go over here to my every page example, go to the 3 dots and duplicate this. And now I'm going to turn this into my home page. I'm going to click edit. This will be my home page example. Okay, so now I need to make that title part of my page. So I'm going to come back to my PowerPoint and I'm just going to select the thumbnail over here and press Control D to duplicate it. And then I don't need this stuff anymore. But I do want to keep my color palette. So to do my title, all I did was I went to Insert, Text Box, put the name of my class in here, and choose my font. The font I used is called AG Sorry Not Sorry, and I purchased it on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it's probably my favorite font this year, the last couple of years actually. I'm going to make my font pretty big. With this being big, I'm going to select it. I'm going to hold down Control, hover over it until I get that plus sign, and click and drag an extra copy and just kind of put it out of my way. Every letter of world history, I made a different color, and I used, of course, these colors. So let me move this out of the way. Okay. So all I did was I just selected the first letter, went to Shape Format, Text Fill, Eyedropper, and I selected that color. Then I went to the second one, same idea, Text Fill, Eyedropper in the second color. So once I've gone through all 6 colors, for the rest of these, all I have to do is go to the text fill, and the colors are already in here under recent colors. So then I just put them in here. Okay, so now every letter has its own color. And then I did an outline. So to do the outline, all you do is you just select your text, go to Shape Format, go to Text Outline. I made mine black. Go to Text Fill, I made no fill. And then again to text outline, the weight, I think I made my weight at 2¼ points. And then all I do is I just drag this up where I want it to go. I think I made it more to the left. Okay, so there's that part of my title. And then I need another text box. So this font that I used here is called APL Font Snob. And I'm going to make it big. Just kind of get it to look however you want it to look. Put this as close or as far away from the other font as you want. And I'm okay with that. So now what I need to do is I'm going to put a box behind it, just like we did before. So I'm going to go to Insert, Shapes, Rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle that covers my title here. I'm going to make the shape fill, no fill, and I'm going to make the shape outline, no outline color. Then I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to right click, save as picture. So now back in Canvas on my homepage example, I need to put that title in here. So, and I want it to center on the page. So what I need to do is I need to actually highlight my table here, and I'm going to go to the drop down menu over here. I'm going to go to row, and I want to insert a row after. So I now have an extra row in here, and I'm going to highlight this row that I just made. I'm going to go back to my table here, and I'm going to go to Cell, Merge Cells, because I want this to just be one big rectangle cell. It's still center justified. It still has the same border properties that we set up before. And now I just put that image in here. Go to Image, Upload Image, go find it. Sometimes it comes in way too big, so now I have to kind of play around with the image size. Okay, so now I have the start of what will be my home page. And the last part that I want to put in here is some buttons that will be unique to just the home page. So let's do that. I'm going to make a new slide here. I'm going to actually copy this, and I'm going to make a new slide, just a blank slide. I'm going to paste my color palette in here, and I'm going to insert, shapes, circle, and just draw what I think looks about right. And I need to make 4 of these, so I am going to hold down the Control button and hover over it. hover over it till I see the plus sign and click and drag a copy. And then I can just press Control Y 2 more times and I will get 2 more copies of it. So I'm going to go to Shape Fill, Eyedropper, grab the color I want. I'm going to make my outline so that there's no outline. Okay, so now I have the start of my 4 buttons here. I'm going to select them all. I'm going to, again, hold down Control and wait till I see the plus sign and drag a copy down below. And while they're still selected, I'm going to go to Shape Format, Shape Fill. This time I don't want them to have any fill, and this time I want the outline to be black. And I'm going to make the weight of it, again, that 2 1/4. And I'm going to just kind of place them where I think I want them. I like how that looks. So the next thing is I'm going to select these 2 items and I'm going to group them. So I'm just going to select them and hit Control G. I'm going to do that for all of these. And now I'm going to select all of these again. I'm going to go to Shape Format, Align. I'm going to make sure they're all aligned. And I'm going to make sure that they are distributed evenly. And now I'm ready to put the names of these buttons. So I just go to Insert, Text Box. The font for this one I used is called AG Running Late as My Cardio. I made the font white. Now I'm just going to make sure everything is centered. So I'm going to select what I want to center, Shape Format, Align, in the center and the middle. Next, I'm going to group these together. And the last thing I need to do is right-click. Now these are all selected together, so all I have to do is right-click on it and go to Save as Picture. Back in Canvas, under Pages, I'm going to go find that home page that I started. Home page example. And now I'm going to put those in. So I'm going to click Edit. And I'm actually going to go in here, click into this table. I'm going to hit the right arrow to get to the right of it and then press Enter because I want to go right underneath it and I'm going to be putting in another table. So I'm going to go to the table here and I know I have 4 buttons, so I'm going to put 4 by 1 across. And I have to do that same thing where I set up the table, select the table, select the cells, and I'm going to go to Table Properties, make this 0, and Center, Advanced, Hidden, Save. Then I'm going to go back in here, Cell, Properties, and I make this center and this middle. And now I just have to put those little images in. Again, I go to the image, upload image, go find it. Okay, so here it is. For me, I think I actually would make these a little bit bigger. Okay, and there's my home page.